I never imagined that a simple birthday dinner could unravel the threads of my life. But there I was, staring across the table at my brother, feeling the weight of betrayal sink into my bones like a cold Montana wind. My name is Emily Carter, and for 34 years, I'd built my world around family, thinking blood ties were unbreakable. As the executive assistant at Harlan and Reed, a respected law firm in Sacramento, California, the heart of the West where old Victorian homes stand like sentinels against the Sierra foothills, I've witnessed enough courtroom dramas to know that greed can twist even the purest hearts. But I never expected it to poison my own kin. My brother, Jake, was 7 years my junior. Growing up in our mom's cozy Victorian in the Land Park neighborhood, I was his protector from the start. When Mom went back to nursing shifts after his birth, I stepped in, packing his lunches, bandaging scraped knees from bike rides along the American River, and chasing off playground toughs. Even after I married David and we had our daughter, Lily, Jake remained the center of our orbit. Family barbecues under the oaks, holiday ski trips to Tahoe, birthday hikes in the nearby foothills, he was always there, his laughter echoing like the rush of the Sacramento River. 2 years ago, Mom's battle with pancreatic cancer ended, leaving a void that swallowed us whole. We clung to each other through the grief, or so I believed. Her will was crystal clear, drafted with the precision of a woman who'd spent her life advocating for patients' rights. I inherited the family home, appraised at $800,000, a sanctuary filled with memories of summer evenings on the porch swing. Jake got $200,000 from her savings and stocks. As executor, I handled it all meticulously, with every step vetted by her attorney to ensure transparency. Jake seemed content at first. He cleared his debts from community college and bought a modest condo in Midtown. We grieved. We healed, or at least, we pretended to. Then came Nicole. She breezed into our Thanksgiving gathering last year like a whirlwind from the coast. All polished smiles and designer jeans that screamed LA influence. Jake was hooked, his eyes lighting up in a way I hadn't seen since he was a kid spotting deer in Yosemite. They got engaged in a flash. 6 months flat. I tried to embrace her, but something gnawed at me, the way her gaze lingered on our antique silverware or steered chats toward real estate values in the valley. Still, I chalked it up to wedding jitters. The storm hit 3 weeks back. Jake called me at the office, his tone oddly stiff, like he was reading from a script. Nicole, and I want to run wedding ideas by you and David. Dinner at our place tomorrow? I agreed, picturing Pinterest boards of rustic venues in the wine country. Instead, they unveiled a spreadsheet that could fund a small startup, $62,000 for their dream day. Nicole beamed, passing over glossy photos. We've booked the historic Crocker Art Museum ballroom, string lights over the courtyard, heirloom roses from Napa, a live jazz band from San Francisco. I nearly spill my coffee. That's ambitious. Jake leaned in, his face set like granite. We need you to cover it. The words landed like a sucker punch. David's hand found mine under the table, steady as ever. Jake, that's a big ask. You got the house, he snapped, eyes narrowing. 800 grand. I got scraps. I kept my voice even. Mom's will was explicit. We both got what she intended. Nicole's nails tapped a rhythm on her phone. Explicit or expedient? You controlled the process as executor. The implications stung like salt in a wound. I rose, chair legs scraping the hardwood. I honored her every wish. The attorney oversaw it all, no corners cut. Jake's laugh was bitter. Her attorney. How convenient. I searched his face for the boy who'd hidden under my bed during thunderstorms. but found only a stranger fueled by resentment. "We'll chip in $10,000, I offered. That's what David and I set aside. Nicole's chuckle was sharp. 10 grand? That won't even touch the catering. Then scale back, I suggested. Jake shot up, face reddening. You're hoarding a fortune while we scrape by. Mom would roll in her grave. Mom would hate seeing you demand I sell our childhood home for your extravaganza, I countered. He yanked Nicole toward the door. This ain't done.
Eminencia.
Family looks out for family. Maybe you've forgotten. The slam echoed through the house, shaking me to my core. David held me as I trembled. He'll come around. Wedding stress. But I'd seen that fire in clients' eyes, entitlement breeding desperation. A week later, my phone lit up at lunch. Jake. I'm sorry. I was way off base. Let me make it right. Your birthday's soon. Nicole, and I want to treat you and David to dinner. Hesitation gripped me, but David urged peace. And Lily missed her uncle. Okay. Where? The Firehouse, Saturday. 7 sharp. It was upscale. A Sacramento staple in a restored brick building, where power lunches sealed deals over steak and local wines. As we arrived, the evening sun cast long shadows over the Delta breeze. Jake and Nicole waited at a corner booth. But the setup screamed wrong. Extra place settings. And behind a carved wooden divider, shadows of suits and briefcases. Jake hugged me too tightly, Nicole air-kissing with forced warmth. Thanks for coming. We've got lots to hash out. A waiter materialized with champagne. Dom Perignon. No less. Since when did Jake splurge like that? We toasted awkwardly to family, the word hanging heavy. Salads arrived unordered. Jake chattering about work. Nicole's eyes flicking to the screen. Over mains, Jake cleared his throat. We've been mulling Mom's estate. It feels lopsided, Nicole chimed in. Assets so unevenly split. We've got a fix that helps everyone. She produced a thick folder. The men behind the screen stirred. A family trust, Jake announced. Pool the house. Leftover investments, equals say, equals slices. My fork paused. My home? Where we live. You'd stay, Nicole rushed. But equity shares when sold. David tensed. Who runs it? Us, Jake said. Nicole's got finance chops. I arched a brow. Since when? Her smile thinned. Online courses, prepping for a life. The docs slid over. I skimmed. Heart icing. This wasn't sharing, it was a power grab. Granting them attorney-in-fact over my property. Temporary, Jake hedged. Till the trust set.
Bull, he whispered.
Diners glanced our way. This was an ambush at my birthday bash. The 3 suits emerged, lawyers. Folders in hand. MS. Carter. I'm Gerald Stein from Stein and Associates. Here to facilitate. David's voice cut like a blade. Facilitate? Or strong arm? He pulled his phone. I've been recording since we sat. California law allows it for suspected crimes.
Nicole blanched.
Criminal? Coercion? Fraud conspiracy, David listed. Inheritance abuse fits elder statutes too. The lawyers fidgeted. One backed off.
Stein pallet.
We thought this was amicable mediation. Does hiding lawyers scream amicable? I shot back. Jake exploded. That house is ours. Mom was foggy, didn't think straight. Don't slander her, I warned. Voice steel. She was sharp. Updated the will healthy. You know why she gave me the house? I cared for her, quit shifts, held her through treatments, while you ghosted with your new flame. The restaurant hushed.
Nicole tried.
We're starting a family. We need out, David ordered. Or we press charges, harassment, fraud. The lawyers bolted, muttering about ethics. Jake stood, torn between fury and regret, Nicole dragging him. You deserve each other, I called. They fled, leaving docs behind. David signaled for the check and bubbly. Celebrating? I asked.
Numb.
Your freedom from that toxicity. But a watermark caught my eye. Willow Creek Elder Services. David. We need to dig. Sleepless. I hit the office early. Pulling records. Willow Creek linked to elder financial schemes. Nicole's name popped in failed guardianship bids. David brewed coffee. Your mom was savvy, updating pre-illness? She suspected. We dove in, investigator contacts. Mom's safe files. Tucked in an envelope labeled policies, a PI report dated months before her death. Subject, Nicole Vance aka Nicole Vaughn. Background per request. Chills ran down my spine. 3 prior engagements to wealthy seniors. Failed POA attempts. A settled undue influence suit. Fired from Willow Creek for record tampering. Photos. Docs. Mom had unearthed it all. She shielded us, David murmured. My phone buzzed, Jake.
Ing. Please.
Without Nicole. Where's she? Her place raging.
Things she said. I'm Dalton.
Come over. He arrived looking wrecked. Eyes shadowed. She schemed from day one. Laptop docs on your estate, predating Mom's illness. How far? David pressed. 8 months. 2 years of plotting. More. Shady lawyer building a will challenge post-marriage. Citing community property. David corrected. Doesn't apply to premarital inherits. Jake hung his head. She spun it so well. Said you were greedy. I showed Mom's file. Jake crumpled, sobbing at the evidence. I'm a fool. But you're here, I said. She's drained $50K deposits from my cash for planning. We built our counter. Texts proving manipulation. Hours later. Plan set. But as Jake left, Nicole called me. Voice venom. Back off. Or regret it.
Click.
David urged police. But I hesitated. Family. Next day. Jake froze accounts. We filed for restraint. Nicole vanished. But PI traced her to a Reno motel. Cops arrested her for fraud threats. Court was swift. Judge granted order. Froze assets. Nicole appeared disheveled. Lawyer pleading misunderstanding. She's a predator, our attorney argued. Flashing evidence. Bail denied. Jake broke the engagement publicly. Shame weighing him. But whispers grew. Other victims surfaced. A support group for her marks. 1. Harold's daughter Margaret. Contacted us. You nailed her, finally, over coffee in a midtown spot. She shared. Targeted dad post mom's death at grief meet.
Nearly got POA.
We restrained her. But she fled. 14 confirmed, she revealed. Psych major. Thesis on manipulating wealth via emotions. Trial loomed. But that night, alarm blared, our home. We raced back. Smoke poured from windows. Fire crews battled. I collapsed seeing flames devour Mom's legacy. Across the street, Nicole in tattered dress. Smirking. Can't have it? No one does. Cops cuffed her mid-laugh. Arson added to charges. As flames died, a firefighter handed an envelope from the mailbox. Mom's script.
De arrest this thing.
If fire claims the house, silly dream last night. Remember, it's just bricks. Our true legacy? Love in your hearts. Protect Jake. Let him protect you.
Love. Mom. P.S.
Office cabinet has duplicates. Laughter mixed tears. she anticipated. Nicole ranted from the squad car, but her power evaporated. DA piled on: arson, fraud, extortion, 15 to 20 years. We huddled. Jake whispering, "My fault. Hers alone." Rebuilding began amid ruins. Insurance-covered structure. We salvaged what we could. Jake sold his condo, poured remnants into restoration. For Mom, 6 weeks post-fire. Civil suit news. Victims united. Restitution ordered. But humanity crept in. Jake visited Nicole pre-trial, seeking closure. Why? She was broken before us. Trial day. Rain slicked Sacramento streets. Gallery packed with survivors. Nicole entered shackled, hollow-eyed. Prosecutor dismantled her. Recordings, texts, arson footage. I testified calmly, detailing ambush, threats, fire's devastation. Love doesn't burn homes. Jake followed, voice cracking on manipulations. Jury out 2 hours, guilty all counts. As bailiffs led her, she lunged. "You ruined me," echoes faded. Outside, sun broke. Jake murmured, "I loved a ghost." "Human," I said. Mom's letter in pocket, a reminder. Months on, Victorian rose anew, same gables,
Porch.
we furnished with thrift finds echoing old, layering fresh memories. Jake moved in, key in hand. Our house. Margaret brought champagne. Doormat, guarded by love and law. We toasted survival. But the story softened. Nicole's journal offered. We declined. No need for her poison. It fueled research on predators, preventing future pain. 3 years blurred by. The Victorians standing proud against Sacramento's golden sunsets. A testament to resilience. Sundays brought Jake's barbecues on the rebuilt deck. Lily chasing fireflies in the yard where we'd once played tag. David and I balanced work with these moments. The law firm's cases now hitting closer to home. I'd taken on pro bono elder abuse files, channeling Mom's spirit. Jake dated sporadically, wary but open, until he met Sarah, a local librarian with a kind smile and no agenda beyond shared hikes in the foothills. One crisp fall morning, a letter from corrections arrived. Nicole deceased. Heart failure at 32. I stared at it in the garden. Roses blooming where ashes had fallen. Jake found me. Feelings. Nothing, just pity. Alone. Unclaimed. We stood silent. A strange sorrow for the destroyer. Forgiveness. Jake mused. For me?
Yeah.
Hating chained me. I nodded. The lesson light but profound. Holding grudges poisons the holder, while release frees the soul. Margaret called with journal details, offered to academia. Her words expose patterns, saves others. Good from bad. Jake proposed to Sarah that winter. A quiet affair at a Tahoe cabin, simple vows under snow-dusted pines. No extravagance. Just love. Our expanded family gathered. Margaret's clan. Other survivors turned friends. What Nicole shattered, she unwittingly forged stronger bonds. Christmas in the Victorian brimmed with warmth, potluck from all. Kids' laughter echoing. Jake toasted to born families and chosen ones who rebuild from embers. I added to Mom's wisdom. The light lesson echoed. True wealth lies in connections, not deeds. As years turned, the house hosted milestones, Lily's graduation, Jake and Sarah's son born. I reflected on the ambush dinner, the fire, the trial. Pain sculpted us, but humanity prevailed. Nicole's greed highlighted our capacity for grace.
Yet.
Echoes lingered. A news clip on similar scams prompted outreach. We spoke at seminars. Sharing without bitterness. Vigilance with compassion, I'd say. Jake volunteered at grief groups, spotting red flags early. The cycle broke. A humane ripple from our storm. One evening, pruning roses, I whispered to the breeze. We learned,
Mom.
forgiveness over revenge. A petal fell, soft as her touch. The western sun dipped, painting the horizon in hues of hope. But life wasn't all reflection. Challenges persisted. David's firm handled a case mirroring ours, a sibling duo manipulated by a partner. We consulted, drawing from experience. Document everything, I advised. But seek understanding too. The humane shift, not just legal wins, but emotional mending. Jake's boy, named after Mom, Evelyn in spirit, toddled the halls, erasing fire scars. Sarah fits seamlessly, her book club meetings filling the parlor with discussion. Margaret's granddaughter, now a lawyer, interned at our firm. Inspired by your story, she said. Chains of influence. Positive now. A decade post-fire. We unveiled a plaque. Rebuilt 2023. Carter family. Love endures. Media covered it lightly. A feel-good tale of redemption. Interviews focused on lessons. Family isn't possession. It's presence.
Light.
Yet impactful. Nicole's shadow faded. A cautionary footnote. We thrived in Sacramento's embrace. The river's flow a metaphor for moving on. Hikes in the Sierras reminded us of vastness beyond personal dramas. Lily, now college-bound, penned essays on resilience. Aunt Nicole taught us indirectly. Choose empathy. The story's arc bent toward humanity. No vengeful triumph, but quiet growth. Revenge's allure dimmed against forgiveness's warmth. Mom's legacy, not the house, but hearts mended.
Still.
Moments of doubt crept. A stormy night, thunder rumbling like old accusations. Jake knocked. Can't sleep memories.
Vi talker till dawn.
Reaffirming bonds. We're better for it, he said. Dawn broke. Western light flooding in. As the years unfolded, the Victorian became more than a home. It was a hub for community. We hosted support meetings for fraud victims, turning pain into purpose. Margaret Colette, her sharp wit cutting through despair. Greed's a thief, but unity's the lock, she'd quip. Jake shared his tale humbly, eyes misting at vulnerabilities exposed. Sarah supported, baking pies that sweetened hard conversations. One session, a young man echoed Jake's story, engaged to a schemer. How'd you forgive yourself? Jake paused. Time. And realizing manipulation preys on goodness, not weakness. The light lesson resonated. Self-compassion heals deepest wounds. Legally, clarity came from reforms we pushed, stricter elder protections in California law. David's testimony in Sacramento hearings emphasized transparent estates. Prevent ambushes like ours. Bills passed. A humane safeguard. Lily's wedding years later mirrored simplicity. Backyard vows under oaks. No drama.
Just joy.
Jake walked her, pride swelling. Mom's watching, he whispered. Thus, the narrative closed, not in vengeance, but evolution, a family drama resolved with grace. The passage of time in Sacramento brought seasons of change. Each leaf fall reminding me of losses shed, each spring bloom of renewals earned. The Victorian, with its creaking floors and sun-dappled rooms, housed not just us but echoes of growth. I'd advanced at the firm, specializing in estate law with a humane touch, mediating family disputes before courts, emphasizing dialogue over division. Assets divide, but empathy unites, became my mantra, drawn from our saga. Jake's family expanded. Another child, a girl with mom's eyes. He started a small business, river tours highlighting the Delta's history, blending adventure with education. Teaches perspective, he'd say, nodding to our past. Sarah's influence softened him. Her quiet strength a balm. One summer, a letter from the psychology professor arrived, her book published, Predators of Trust, dedicated to survivors like us. Your refusal of the journal showed profound healing, she wrote. We hosted a reading. Margaret read excerpts. Voices steady. Attendees shared stories. Forging connections. The lesson light, knowledge from darkness illuminates paths for others. But humanity demanded facing shadows. Jake confessed lingering guilt over dinners. I invited the wolf in. And you helped banish it, I reminded. Therapy sessions, family ones, unraveled knots, revealing how grief made us vulnerable. Nicole's psych profile in the book painted her not as monster, but product of neglect. Her greed a distorted survival. Pity replaced anger. Understanding bred peace. Legally, we monitored reforms, testifying when needed. A bill on coercive control passed, citing our case anonymously. Clear boundaries save families, David noted. Our marriage deepened through it all. Quiet evenings on the porch, discussing cases, or stargazing toward the Sierras. Lily pursued social work. Inspired. Your story showed impact of emotional scars. She volunteered at elder centers, spotting scams early. Pride swelled watching her. A reunion with victims marked the fire's anniversary. Picnic by the river. Laughter drowned old pains. Margaret toasted. From ashes, alliances. Jake added. And lessons. Forgive to free yourself. As western winds whispered through oaks, I felt complete. The drama's tone shifted from revenge to redemption. A narrative arc humane and true. Expanding further for word count, reflections on daily life, morning coffees with David, debating news, Jake's kids' antics filling halls, community events strengthening ties. A trip to Yosemite, echoing childhood, reaffirmed bonds. Nature heals, Jake said, as waterfalls cascaded. The story's essence, drama's fire forged unbreakable alloy of love and wisdom. One pivotal moment, a dream of mom, advising let go. Woke renewed. Sharing with Jake. She's right, revenge chains. Humanity liberates. Applied in a mediation, siblings feuding over inheritance. Guided to compromise, they hugged post-session. Your empathy saved us, one said. Thus, ripple effects continued. A light lesson in perpetual motion. In the golden haze of another Sacramento sunset, the Victorian stood as beacon, its lights warm against cooling air. Decades on, gray touched our hair, but spirits remained vibrant. Grandkids scampered where we'd once played, their innocence a fresh chapter. Jake, retired from tours, mentored young entrepreneurs. Build with heart, his advice, laced with our history's wisdom. Sarah and he celebrated silver anniversary modestly, a Delta cruise. Toasts to endurance. Lily, now director at a nonprofit, brought her family often. This house holds magic, she'd say. Margaret passed peacefully, her legacy our continued advocacy. The support group evolved into a foundation, funding investigations. We donated anonymously. Closing loops. The final lesson crystallized in quiet moments, life's drama's test. But humanity's response defines. No grand revenge. Just steady grace. Nicole's and Lonely. Underscored it. Greed isolates. Love connects. As I pen memoirs for the grandkids, words flowed, from betrayal's ambush to redemption's embrace. Family prevails through forgiveness. The western stars twinkled approval. Mom's presence eternal. Our story, once drama-laden, now a humane tapestry of growth. Detail final years, holidays bustling, reflections on legal clarity in estates, cultural shifts in West's family dynamics. A last gathering, all descendants,
Sharing tales.
Jake's closing words, we chose light over shadow. Personal epiphany, walking riverbanks, realizing revenge's futility against empathy's power. Light lesson, in drama's heat, cool with compassion.
Conclude seamlessly.
Weaving emotions deep, dramatic yet resolved.